What if the assassination of one man didn't start the First World War? What if it was just the inevitable climax of a powder keg of conflict that had been building for decades? It wasn't a single shot that sparked the Great War, but rather the culmination of centuries of simmering tensions across Europe. Europe in the early 20th century was a tinderbox of nationalism, militarism, imperialism, and alliance systems ready to combust into a global conflict. Ferdinand's death was merely the catalyst, the spark that ignited the flames of war. His assassination didn't cause the war, but it did trigger the complex chain reaction that led to the outbreak of hostilities. The real Austro-Hungarian threat was coming from the crumbling Ottoman Empire. Faced with rising nationalism within its multi-ethnic borders, the Ottomans saw an opportunity to bolster their defenses by annexing the independent Slavic state of Serbia. This move, however, was thwarted by the intervention of Russia, which had strong ties to Serbia. As the Austrians prepared for intervention, their decision to assassinate Ferdinand provided the perfect cover to start a war without having to worry about Russian interference. It was a brilliant strategy, and it worked perfectly. The assassination gave Austria the chance it needed to crush Serbia and secure its southern flank, crush any remaining hopes for a Slavic federation that could threaten Habsburg rule. All Europe would soon be drawn into the conflict. A global war would rage as a result, but it wasn't what the Austrians had planned. The Austrians believed that once they crushed Serbia, the rest of Europe wouldn't intervene, giving them enough time to deal with the Russians. They were wrong. Within weeks, the Germans would declare war on Belgium, allowing the French and British forces to join the fight. This was exactly what Austria wanted. Now they would face the Russians with the support of the powerful German Empire. But it was the Russian people who had the last laugh. Despite heavy losses, the Russian army advanced into Austria, forcing the Austrians to abandon their plans of crushing Serbia and focus on defending their own borders. The initial Austrian victories against Serbia and Belgium soon turned into a stalemate. Trench warfare ensued, and millions of men on both sides would die without making any gains. Yet it was during this stalemate that some bizarre occurrences began to take place. Some were mystical, others tragic, and some downright bizarre. Perhaps the strangest of these incidents was the appearance of the Angel of Mons. On August 12, 1914, as British soldiers retreated from Mons, Belgium, they came across a peculiar sight, a group of angelic figures protecting them from the advancing Germans. Although not a major event in the war, this occurrence left a lasting impression on the soldiers who witnessed it. Then there was the mysterious case of the Ghost Army. During the Battle of the Somme, British soldiers reported seeing the apparition of an entire regiment, complete with horses and cannons, charging across no man's land only to vanish moments later. While there are various theories about this phenomenon, including mass hysteria and hallucinations, it remains an intriguing mystery. And let's not forget the haunting reality of shell shock. This condition, now known as PTSD, was widespread among soldiers exposed to the constant trauma of combat. Symptoms included paralysis, uncontrollable shaking, and an inability to speak, leading to fear and stigma. Only in recent times have we come to understand the true nature of this harrowing experience. While the Western Front is often considered the central theater of the war, it's crucial to remember that World War I was truly a global conflict. From the deserts of Arabia to the jungles of Africa, battles raged on multiple fronts. The war's impact was not limited to Europe, and its consequences extended far beyond the continent. As the war drew to a close, the victors met at the Paris Peace Conference in 1919 to determine the fate of Europe and the world. However, instead of creating a lasting peace, they crafted a punitive treaty that humiliated Germany and left unresolved issues that would contribute to future conflicts. The winners met in Paris to write the Treaty of Versailles. But instead of a treaty for a lasting peace, it became a treaty of punishment. Germany was forced to accept full blame for the war, disarm its military, give up territory, and pay crippling reparations. A French marshal, upon reading the treaty, said something chillingly prophetic. This is not a peace. It is an armistice for 20 years. He was right. The treaty humiliated Germany, bankrupted its economy, and created a deep well of resentment. It was in that poisoned well that a failed artist and corporal from WW1, a man named Adolf Hitler, would find his political power. World War I didn't end all wars. It created a lost generation of disillusioned souls, toppled 4 massive empires, and redrew the map of the world. But most importantly, it ended in a way that didn't solve the problems that started it. It just pressed pause. In the next video in this series, we'll explore how the unresolved anger from World War I directly fueled the rise of fascism and led to the even greater catastrophe of World War II. This leaves us with one of history's biggest and most debated questions. Do you think if the Treaty of Versailles had respected Germany more, the rise of someone like Hitler and the fascist movement could have been avoided? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the past. If you found this look at the unseen side of history interesting, consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel to follow the rest of the series. Thank you for watching.